Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're having a pleasant day as we get started. Hey, please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. Your shares mean everything. Good morning to you. And welcome back to the last honest place in Cincinnati media. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. Ready to talk about everything that's been happening, man. It's been so much that's happened within the last 24 hours that we must talk about, fam. So as we get started here, please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. Good morning to you. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. Good morning to you. Spiderman has been arrested, as you can see on the screen right now if you're watching the live stream. Shout out to my audio choppers, audio warriors. Appreciate you. We must talk about that. We must talk about that. There's new information regarding the FBI and City Council. We must discuss that as well. Also, new information about the GOP. Apparently, they were doing reconnaissance tours with the Capitol rioters. Yeah, they had previous information, and that's why they were so effective the day of. We'll discuss that. Plus, I'll let you know about what's coming up with CDM. A lot coming up on the show this morning. Plus, your comments, your phone calls at 513-873-7134, as always, are welcome. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll get started in just about 1 minute.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again
swinging like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get him, I got him, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for the feelings I throw on my pain on percussion.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get the show started, shall we? 513-873-7134. Again, if you haven't already done so, do your boy a favor and please like and in particular share today's show. And to all the people that tried to call in yesterday, I did not see the messages and the calls until, unfortunately, near the end of yesterday's show. And I appreciate your interest in trying to get in yesterday. I know a lot of people was trying to get in. I had many missed calls and messages, but you get into the flow and unless the phone is ringing, I really wasn't thinking about it, to be honest with you. What's on your mind, family? How are you? What's on your radar screen? What's on your dome? What would you like to talk about this morning? I want to talk about what you want to talk about. I'm interested in what you think is interesting. Good morning to you. Good morning. Let me just put the hey, what's going on? Appreciate it. Thank you for that. Hey, good morning, everybody. Here it is. We back. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning. It is beautiful out here. It is beautiful. It's great to be alive. Thank you for coming back to the show, broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Where should we start, man? Well, let me start with this. I'm not sure if you saw the show yesterday, but of course, the Cincinnati NAACP broadcast live yesterday here from CDM and Sin Digital Media. They were talking about the Capitol riots, and you had Joe, who's the president, now president. Shout out to Joe Mallory, and also TNT. They had a wonderful podcast. Check it out. It's up on our Facebook page. It's up on their Facebook page as well, and you can check it out right over there. Today, you got my show. Then you got Midday Juice coming up with Ask Ashley at 1 p.m. And then she'll be talking about, she got some juice, man. She brings the juice. It's going to be real interesting. I'm not sure what you're doing midday, but spend a little bit of your midday with Ashley. That's at 1 p.m. today. You can find it on Facebook. It's Sin Digital Media. Then, of course, tomorrow you got the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. And she's hard at work already, working on the next show. Should be interesting. Hot topics as usual. You know we do. Representing for the culture. Black Voices Matter from Cincinnati, Ohio. Let them know that somebody in Cincinnati's got some damn sense. Let them know. What's up, BS3 Radio? What's up with you, man? Good morning to you. Yeah. Thanks for okay. Thanks for accepting, Morgan. Appreciate you. Most Def. Yeah, come on in. See what's going on. We talk with the people every single day. Good morning to you. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning to you, Sharp. Ray writes, here. Pamela writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Miss D writes, greetings. Clue Magic writes, grand risings, Nathan and Choppers. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Brenda. Happy Thursday to you. Many things to discuss this morning. Let me throw my number up on the screen. Somebody might want to give us a call this morning and share their thoughts. As always, you can take a free ride on my thoughts and just, you got your Miranda rights, the right to remain silent and just be edutained. As always, nobody can take your rights away from you. It is what it is. Oh, man. I find it humorous, this debate that people are having about the rights of the president with Facebook. I find it very, very humorous. I touched upon it a couple of days back when we talked about your girl and my girl. I was wondering what happened to her. Carrie Hilson, she got dragged on Twitter, and the conversation rages on. You'll hear more from that with Donnie B on Friday, so make sure you check it out. All right. Again, 513-873. Let me throw my number on the screen for those that might want to share. Might want to share your thoughts this morning. 513-873-7134. If you like the sweatshirt, Black Voices Matter, you can see it right there. There's a link. My link tree is in the description, and you can make a purchase. All proceeds go back to the platform. Good morning to you. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that everybody, at least on my Facebook world, can see that the show is up this morning. Never asking you to do something I'm not willing to do myself. But again, good morning to you. How are you? How many people got a chance to see Donald Trump's, he went live after the fact that he was impeached yesterday. Anybody think, you want to talk about this? You in the mood for this? Do you think this is a good idea to impeach Donald Trump? What is he, 6 days? 6 days away from no longer being the president? Is this a waste of time? Is this a complete waste of time by the Democrats? Should they be worried about, I don't know, $2,000 stimulus checks or creating and implementing Joe Biden's agenda, his black agenda? I mean, what do you think? I want to know your thoughts. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear your thoughts. All right. What do you think? And I watched quite a bit of it yesterday. I didn't watch all of it. I did see Steve Shabbat. He is the congressional 1st District rep for Congress, white male Republican, and he got up there and did exactly what we all expected to do. And he decided that he was not going to vote for impeachment. That's his decision. He was elected by the people to do just that. And there, as I understand it, there were 10 GOP members, 10 Republican Party members that decided to vote for the impeachment of Donald Trump. I had no doubt that it was going to pass the U.S. House of Congress. U.S. House of Representatives in Congress. I mean, this is historic. I mean, we are living in amazing times. We have seen things within our lifetimes that we've never seen before. Just think about this. Within the last 2 years, we have seen amazing things. Like, we are living during a pandemic. We are living during a pandemic. Who would have thought? We are on the edge of now what could be Donald Trump being impeached. It's historic because he's already been impeached. All right. The fact that it left the House of Representatives means that he's been impeached. Now, what the Senate does, we'll have to figure it out. Yeah, I do. Thank you. Good morning, black woman. You early went. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Did I? I don't remember. So, so it's historic in that sense. You know, he's already been. Hold on one second. It's historic in that sense. He's already been impeached. Historic. First president ever to be impeached twice in the same term. He couldn't get elected, wasn't good enough to get reelected, but he's damn good enough to have been impeached twice within the same term. First, he was impeached because of his collusion and basically abusing the power of the presidency for his own political gain. You remember that with the Ukraine? He was trying to leverage U.S. military aid to get dirt on Joe Biden. And now we see why, because Joe Biden at that point, and again, that was early on, Joe Biden hadn't even made it through the primary. But Trump and, you know, all of his people, I'm sure he got a very smart people behind him. They could see that Joe Biden was his real competition, right? Quite interesting. Quite interesting. But what do you think? You think this is a good ploy? Is this a good move? I won't even call it a ploy. Is this a good move by the Democrats? Is this a waste of time, in your opinion? I'd like to get your honest thoughts about it. Whatever the case may be, again, we are living in historic times. It's never happened before. Pandemic, never happened before. Black president, never happened before. I mean, all these things have happened within our lifetime. So what's going to happen next? I don't know. Are the aliens going to show up? Are we going to move into a colorblind society, if that's even possible? I don't know. You tell me. I know what I think, but I'm much more interested in what you think this morning. All right. Feel free to share. You got my number there. I'm not sure what your lifestyle in the morning is like. It might not be conducive to giving a call, but you can always chill out, kick back. And as I said before, take a free ride on my thoughts this morning. I'm always down with that. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm back in the chop shop. Good morning to you. Miss D Rice, greetings. Clue Magic Rice, Grand Risings, name the choppers. Brenda Rice, happy Thursday. Fox Rice, rise and shine, young stars. Mason Marler Rice, morning, Nate and the choppers. Hashtag impeachment equals accountability. Hashtag would Republicans let Obama get away with it? No, they would not. That's an excellent point, Mason Marler. If Obama had incited a riot, had incited violence, the rhetoric would have been even tougher than what the Democrats are saying right now. How do we know? Because look at Benghazi. I mean, the Republicans' rhetoric around Benghazi was tougher, and that didn't even happen. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, as I understand it, was sort of international law, like an American embassy is like American soil. But it didn't happen in the continental USA, we'll put it that way. Okay, it didn't happen at the U.S. Capitol. So look at how much time and energy they spent about Benghazi. Oh man, they turned Benghazi into 911. Not to make it small, because people lost their lives, but damn. So he makes an excellent point this morning. Mason Marler is 100% right. If this was Obama, if Obama had lost the election and there was no evidence whatsoever that there was any kind of stealing the vote, man, these Republicans would be ready to form Voltron, as I like to say. They would never leave the streets, and they would impeach him. Even if he was out of office, they would impeach him. They would go to the ends of the earth for their own political gains. So to me, I say that sometimes you got to use the reflection method with people. Use it. I got no problem with what the Democrats are doing. Let me put my opinion out there. I got no problem with it. Now, I think that people need stimulus checks, and I think we need that black agenda, and I think we need to make sure we support net neutrality and these other issues. I think all of that is important, right? But, man, listen, do what you got to do. Do what you have to do. Again, 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts this morning. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. What's on your dome? What's on your mind? What do you think? I love to hear it. Let me see here. Let me go back to the chop shop, see what's popping. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Clue Magic writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Pamela's in the house as well. I think I read all of that. Tracy writes, hi. Broadway Flow is back. What? Time to do something that will help the public for real. 8 months. Time to conduct a useless impeachment. 2 days. State-sponsored media is in the way. Watch your mouths, peons. Okay. Good to see you, Broadway Flow. Good to see you, man. Bari's in the house. Good morning to you, Bari. Glenn writes, morning, Facebook choppers. Nat writes, good morning, choppers. Billy writes, good morning, family. Let's chop it up. April writes, blessings to all. Carmelita writes, good morning. Lemmy writes, good morning. Danita writes, good morning. It's Thankful Thursday. I am thankful for my wonderful parents who love me, sacrificed for me, and gave me the foundation to be who I am. They aren't here in body, but they still are in love. What you thankful for today, everyone? That's a good way of looking at Thursdays, man. I'm thankful to be alive. Danita, you already know my story. I'm thankful that my mother is better. You know, many people might know my mother was in a hospital. She was unconscious. She was not aware. She was not awake. Oh, she full blown back now. She all the way back. But I'm very thankful about that. I mean, that was weighing very heavily on my heart. You know what I'm saying? You go see your mother, she got all kind of tubes in her. She's not breathing on her own. She's not doing anything on her own. And I'm just so very thankful that she's doing better. That's number one. And thankful to be here, Danita. Good to see you. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shop. Good morning to you. Eb G's in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see you, Eb G, as always. Pamela's in the house as well. We got people on both platforms. They're on Spreaker and they're also on Facebook and or YouTube as well. Good morning to you. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Day in the Choppers. Deborah writes, good morning, Cyber Wakanda. Oh, yeah, we ain't used that term in a while. That's right. That's right. Speaking of which, I've heard the latest about that Marvel series, Black Panther. They are going to do another movie, right? But this time what they're going to do is look back into the mythology and the formation of Wakanda. Just for folks that's into that kind of stuff, I read that. So good morning to you. Daryl's in the house. Good morning to you. Hey, Angela, how are you? She writes, good morning, Choppers. Deborah writes, I like the new background. Yeah, I'm shooting for the stars. I saw a wonderful example within the last 24 hours that I'm definitely going to take advantage of. But I'm shooting for the stars, so I figured the background should reflect that. James writes, good morning. Let me see. Deborah writes, I hate listening to Trump's voice. You know, me too. Me too, Deborah. 100%. Me too. I agree with you. I understand where you're coming from. But again, we are where we are. Damn, thank you for all the shares, people. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the love on that. Most deaf. Again, when you share the show, more people see it. We need to get those shares up to about at least 70. But if you're on the stream, just take a second and please like that show. But I appreciate it most definitely. I got to do something exclusively for the people that share this show every morning, because y'all lifting me up. It means everything. It means everything. Good morning to you. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. I'm actually sharing the show to a few more places. Yeah, I'm actually sharing the show to a few more places this morning. There it is. Yeah, just take a second. People help this platform in a lot of different ways, And speaking of it, man, if you are a host, if you're a creative, I'm looking for creative folks to work with us here with CDM and this platform and what we build out later. You might be a host. You might be a graphic designer, a graphic artist. You might be a video editor. You might be a videographer. You might be an entrepreneur, and you've got products and their services that you want to put out there, to the audience and leverage the power of social media for your business. Just hit me with a direct message and I will schedule a time to talk with you and to see if we can work together as we build this out. As I'll say it again, Cincinnati, and Black Cincinnati in particular, deserves, we don't just need it, we deserve it. We desperately need and deserve independent media for several reasons. And we've taken a few steps down that road over the last year. And I think there's so much more that we can do to help the culture here in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. So I'll say it again. If you're a graphic artist, I'd love to talk with you. If you're a journalist, I'd love to talk with you. If you're a host, if you're a creative person, I would love to talk with you. Hit me with a direct message and I will schedule a time to reach out to you and see if we can connect. Maybe we can build together. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a collaborator. I reached out and will continue to reach out to people to collaborate. Teamwork makes the dream work. Real simple. I'm a believer in that. And I'm a reflection of it every single day and all day. So I'll say it again. If you are a creative person, I'm looking for creative people. If you might be in marketing, I'd love to talk with you. You might, as I said, be an entrepreneur with services and products. Maybe we can work together in a mutually beneficial way to enhance your position and also to move the movement and the platform forward. You might be a host. You might already be doing a podcast. So many great, talented people already in this area that I'm very, very, very proud to be working with. As I said, you may have numerous skills. I would love to work with you. Hit me with direct message and let's do it. Let's talk. I will reach out. Let me see. KR Mitchell writes, good morning to you. Deborah writes, not a waste of time. Trump was humiliated. Yeah. So what do they get out of it? So one thing they get out of it is there's two ways of looking at it. I saw AOC, right? Andrea Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. She is a member of Congress from New York. And I saw her on a platform. I can't remember which platform it was. And she was talking about why she really, really thinks that Donald Trump should be impeached. And she said something that makes sense. She said, look, we can't get to healing if we don't get to accountability. We cannot get to healing unless we start with accountability. And I'd like to know if you agree with that. I do. So let's take it away from Trump and let's take that concept and let's apply it to the plight of Black Americans. Do you believe that this country, that we as a country can heal from the wounds inflicted on the Black family and all of the damage because of it, until this country not only recognizes it, but is held account for it? I think many Black people would say, hell no. I think many Black people would say that includes reparations. This country cannot say, I'm sorry completely to what it did to Black and brown folks in this country and continues to do until y'all cut that check. It can't happen. Okay. Well, same thing with Trump and, his desire to try to topple the country because he wants to be in office for the next 4 years. And the man ain't even really doing nothing. It's not like he's a warrior for the people. He's a warrior for the rich folks. The rich folks got enough warriors. So to me, it's real simple. I mean, just on those principles alone, I think the Democrats should continue. You cannot heal. Black America will never be healed. Those wounds and again, the wounds will never, ever be healed, quite honestly. They run too deep. But we can't even get to the first base of healing until y'all cut that check, aka reparations. And saying I'm sorry is not enough when it comes to what happened last Wednesday with the Capitol. It's not enough. It's not enough. Somebody has to be held accountable. Right? And that means Trump. Secondly, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, even after he leaves office, he can be impeached, meaning the president. It's kind of up in the air with the constitutional scholars, as I've read. There's nothing in the Constitution that specifically dictates, mandates, or even speaks to a situation like this, right? So you got people on both sides, experts on both sides weighing in on this. So where there is ambiguity, where there is gray area, that means there's an opportunity for a precedent. Set the precedent. Set the precedent. And if that will bar Trump from running for political office, in particular running for president in 4 years or ever again, that's better for the country. Do what you got to do. And if you don't go with any of that, then go back to what Glenn said, that if it was Obama, what would they do? For anybody out there who's like, you know what, man, I don't think what would the Republicans do if Obama had incited Black Lives Matter, or take Black Lives Matter out of it? If Obama had incited anybody, if Obama had incited anyone to do what Trump and his goons did last week, what would the Republicans do if they had a majority? You think they would say, you know what? For the sake of the country, we should let it go. They didn't do that with Benghazi. They didn't do that with their attempts to try to take away your health care. They spent years and years and years and years and years and years and years on it. They still talking about it. So, when the shoe was on the other foot, it ain't wrong. Right back ain't cheating. Right back ain't cheating. Nat writes, the first district map is ridiculous. Gerrymandering 101. Yeah, that's the only reason why Steve Chabot is there. He's got a lot of Democrat challengers who, in my opinion, would have been better in terms of representatives for the people in the first congressional district. But because of Warren County, which is a part of it, it just can't. They never could get past it. Look at what happened with Kate Schroeder. She put together a hell of a campaign. She did her thing. But when it came to Warren County, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. And for the foreseeable future, but see, here's the good thing about it is they're going to redraw the lines. What is it, in 2 years? Next year? So we'll see what happens then. Hey, Anthony's in the house. He has to be dealt with, needs to be punished, and a precedent needs to be set for future presidents who act as such. See, we using that same P word, precedent. I ain't even read that. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. You're absolutely right. Set the precedent. Do what you got to do. Carmelita writes, it's not a waste of time. Once found guilty, they can ban him from running again. Exactly. Deborah writes, Steve Chabot is a punk. I mean, I'm not going to call the man a punk. I just think that his politics are bad for the first congressional district. It's some people that swear by and love them some Steve Chabot. They love him. Say, oh, Steve is such a good guy. Face to face, I've heard it many, many times from many, many people. I've met Steve Chabot before, and face to face, he seems like a good guy. It's like, yeah, I'm a Republican, but we can see eye to eye on certain things. But when he goes up to the big house, the Capitol, and starts to vote on these issues, not so much. For the people. Glad Dems are going ham against this clown. Ballhead writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Ballhead. Glenn writes, impeach Steve Chabot. Charles writes, if McConnell votes to convict, there will be 16 other Senate members who will vote with him. And the Turtle and the Cheeto don't have a good relationship right now. If McConnell votes to convict, there we see. Right. Yeah, I read that the McConnell behind closed doors has given an indication that he is willing he thinks that Trump should be impeached. And he's the Senate Majority Leader. He's the top guy. If he votes to impeach, then others. I think they need 60. They need 60 votes in the Senate. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen. I think you're going to see the same thing that happened what last year with the impeachment is going to happen this year. Pass the House of Reps, goes to the Senate, and it dies there. That's what something tells me. Even though the Democrats are going to have, the tiebreaker. They're not going to have a, well, I guess they got a majority when you weigh it down because the vice president, Kamala Harris, not Kamala, but Kamala Harris, but 50-50, you got blue dog Democrats like Joe Manchin from West Virginia, who's already said he doesn't support $2,000 checks, which is, I don't get it. People in West Virginia should rise up. It is what it is. Good morning to you. Deborah writes, it's also forcing Republicans to declare their loyalty to Trump or America. Deborah writes, good morning, everyone. Billy writes, I don't think it's a waste of time. Knowing how much damage can be done at a blink of an eye, leaving a big child baby in charge of the military and access codes for any time is worth it to me. You know how he likes to win. He won to impeachment. It's winning. I know that's right. Oh, man. Hey, Don, how you doing, brother? You out there healthy, man? Good to see you. Good to getting it in this morning. He writes, top of the day, everyone. Good morning to you. Carmelita writes, sitting in dialysis for the next 4 hours. What? Well, Glenn, I'm glad to be here with you, Carmelita, and let some of this time go a little faster and more pleasant for you. Damn. I don't like to hear that. Prayers up. Sending you positive energy out there. Next 4 hours? Damn. Not happy to hear that. Glenn writes, great move by the Democrats. Had this been Barack Obama, the Republican Party wouldn't have gave 2 F's about feelings, unity, and compromise. GTFOH GOP. GTFOH GOP. Yeah, I'm with you on that. GTFOH GOP. Well, I read that inside the chop shop, man. You're right about that, brother. 100%. I cannot doubt anything you're saying. I think you're right. If this was Obama, they'd be going super hard. So I don't know about you, but if somebody's willing to do something to me, I'm willing to do something right back to them. The same thing. Why wouldn't I be? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see. Deborah writes, butter emails. Right. It was all about her emails. Emails. I'm like, I don't give a damn. Look, Chairman Mom even got caught up with that. I remember we didn't get into it. I never get into it with my mother, but we had an adult disagreement, child and parent. And she was like, she had bought she bit hook, line, and sinker into that nonsense. Well, if it was me, well, I would have to show my email. I'm like, Ma, you really believe in this nonsense? I don't like that, Hillary, she said. So I want to say it again. I love making these points because, I'm not the kind of person to tell you that I didn't tell you so. I'm not the kind of person to not tell you I told you so. I told you so. I told you that Trump was different from Hillary. I told you. It's been drastically different. Danita writes, impeachment is absolutely necessary. Why should we pay his $200,000 a year salary, $1 million travel budget, and funding for an office to pay office staff? My tax dollars don't need to fund that madness. I know that's right. Good morning to you. I know that's right. I just missed a 607 number. Call me back and I'll put you straight on. Somebody called me from a 607 number. Call me back. I'll put you straight on this morning. I missed your call. All on me. Good morning to you. Let me see. Let me write. Thankful to be alive. Yes. I share my story. Inside the Ivey household story. Inside the Ivey household, y'all know that it was last year, February 2nd, the night of the Super Bowl, when I had my cardiac event. I didn't know what it was. I just had an unusual pain. I didn't know if it was gas or indigestion, or I didn't know what the hell it was. I had never felt it before in my life. It wasn't for me anyway, it wasn't what people might assume is a heart attack. I always thought a heart attack would be like a sharp pain and then you fall to the floor, right? It wasn't like that for me. It was just it wasn't a dull pain, but it wasn't sharp and it just wouldn't go away. emanating from my chest straight through my back. I share this with you again because if you have symptoms, I want you to take care of yourself. That's the spirit I share this with you in. And, I wasn't smart about it. What I should have done in hindsight was immediately go to the hospital. But I'm thinking, man, this is nothing. Maybe I ate a little too much. I think we had tacos that night. In fact, I remember we did have tacos that night. The Super Bowl was on, but I really wasn't paying attention to it. It was just more like background music. And I'm laying on the couch in our living room. My children were there, my 2 children, and my wife was there. We're all just having a good time and chilling. And I couldn't shake it. Couldn't shake it, family. It just wouldn't go away. Just like somebody took a pole and stuck it straight through my chest, all the way through my back. I felt it very, very pronounced. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes you can have a cardiac event and you feel it in your back. Don't overlook it. It doesn't have to be in your chest, fam. I'm here to tell you. And I'm somebody that was catching oops on the fast break, both hands. Whoop, whoop. I never mastered the reverse dunk, but on the break, it was going in the rim. You know what I'm saying? Tip top shape. And that's how you see yourself, even as you're getting older. You see yourself as your apex self. Tell me I'm wrong. And so I tried to sleep on it. Could not sleep. I probably got 15 minutes worth of sleep the whole night. Just could not shake it. I'm like, what is this? Got up in the morning like, screw that. Jumped in an Uber. Now, jumped in an Uber because my son at the time was super, super sick. We think he had COVID. He had just a mysterious illness that made him super sick. Took him to the doctor. They couldn't tell us it was anything. They told us just to monitor his temperature. I mean, he was super sick, like the sickest he's ever been in his short little life. So my wifey had to stay with him. Put myself in an Uber, went over to the emergency. You could have knocked me over with a feather when they said I was in the middle of a cardiac event. Huh? Me? Nah, couldn't be. No, yo, sir, we got to go to surgery right now. So, and the rest of you know the story. I share that with you in love. Take care of yourself. Woody writes, happy risings, brother Nathan and the Choppers. Wear your mask. Wear your mask and your Black Voices Matter sweatshirt. And there's a link in today's description to if you want to make that purchase, support our platform. Glenn writes, state-sponsored media. We have our own version of Black QAnon in our community. Black QAnon, that is not good. Andrea writes, thanks God, absolutely, every day. Angela writes, thankful for new beginnings. Yes, it is. Deborah writes, yes, so wonderful. And I'm so glad, Nate. That is great news. Absolutely. Great to be alive. Great to be alive. I don't take anything lightly. Every moment is precious. And I love my children. I love the family. 100%. Let me see. Take his pension, any benefits of being an ex-president. Okay. Yeah. There's some talk so most ex-presidents, they get a chance to get the presidential briefing even when they leave office. I'm not sure what it's about, but I think from what I've read, it is it's a lighter version of the daily briefing that the president gets when he's in office. It does include top secret information. There's a real conversation that's been going on as to whether Trump should be allowed to get those briefings, because there's people inside the military and the government that think that he's a security risk, as if the man can't keep his mouth shut, or he'll try to sell the information to foreign actors for his own personal good. And guess what? I believe he would. Trump can't be trusted. We didn't deserve Trump, but it is what it is. Alicia writes, guys, morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Deborah writes, that is so good to hear your mother's doing better. Continue prayers to your family. Thank you so much, Deborah. Yeah, I think y'all could tell it was weighing on me. It certainly was, slowed me down in some areas, but, it's supposed to. This woman brought me into this world. She taught me everything I am, everything I know. And I have nothing but great memories of my mother. She didn't abuse me. She gave me great love. Just some beautiful times. I mean, the love of a mother, a love of a parent, but the love you get from your mom, oh, man, you can't replace that. And you can't replace the love you get with your dad, too. But I'm just saying, speaking of my mother, damn, it was weighing on us heavily inside the house. And again, inside the family. And again, you go to the hospital and you thinking your mother will talk to you. She's completely out of it. And you're like, what in the hell? and you look into this woman who was the vessel that you came into this world through, and you think about all the sacrifice that she made, and you want to do something about it. It makes you feel very powerless, right? You know what I'm saying? You want to do something. You want to fix it. You want to make her better, and you can't do any of that. You got to wait it out. It was some long days. Hey, what's up, Crystal? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Tanya writes, happy Thursday, Nathan and Choppers. Happy Thursday to you. Hey, listen, I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to the cover story because Spiderman has been arrested. That's what I'm calling him, Spiderman. If that's not a Spiderman post, I don't know what is. This was the fool. I think he was scared. He was jumping down. I think he was jumping like from the top to the bottom. And I mean, like from the second level, the top level to then like the ground level. But I call him Spider-Man. That's the Spider-Man pose right there. Look at him. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Something like that. I think that's how the story goes. Well, he's been arrested. He's been arrested. And you know, I live for this. I'm living for this. I live for these stories. I love them. I'm all about this. Every time I hear about one of these individuals being arrested, I love it. I love it. And they put their names out there. They do the perp walk. I'm all about that. That's exactly what they deserve. That's exactly what they deserve. Good morning to you. I got no problems with it whatsoever. None. They need to make an example. They need to treat these people like they black. You need to treat these people like they're black. That's all they got to do. Treat them like they are Antifa. That's enough. That's enough. Sad to say, but we know what it is. Don't treat them like they're white terrorists because you might go light on them. Treat them like they're black terrorists. That's all I could ask for. That's justice in that situation. Glenn writes, Jay writes, yo, Nathan Ivey, not to get off topic, have you watched Crack on Netflix, man? Crack on Netflix? Hold on. Netflix. I have not. Not even hip to it. Crack on Netflix. Is it crack cocaine? Is that what you're talking about? Crack cocaine on Netflix? Corruption and Conspiracy, a Netflix documentary about the 90s that helped define the 80s. Oh, it looks dope, man. No. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will put that on my to-do list. That sounds interesting to me. I haven't. Is it dope, Jay? Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate it. Lemmy writes, accountability equals yes, absolutely. Jerome writes, hello, Nate and the Choppers. Hello to you, Jerome. Let me see. Lemmy writes, reparations now a big check. Absolutely. Jay writes, now we still ain't healed from the crack era. They still ain't no help out there with that, not to mention all the other things. No. The wounds, the abuse that black people have taken in this country will never be healed, ever. There's nothing you can do to heal that. There is scar tissue forever. And this country has not even begun to try to deal with the scar tissue. You can't do that until we have this conversation and we actually get the checks. I'm talking about reparations on a mass level on multiple ways. It don't have to just be a check. But until this government tries to balance the scales, I mean, just think about all the stolen wealth from the black family. Just think about that for a second. All of the stolen wealth from the black family. We can't begin. We can't even begin to heal until y'all cut the check. Until then, it's just, it's hollow. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. Alicia writes, after the coup attempt with armed traitors in the Capitol, imagine if the American people offered the same thoughts and prayers that Congress offers us after school shootings. Safety for them, for only them. Interesting point. Interesting point. Brent writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Hey, good morning to you, Brent. Sarah writes, there is precedence. Is there? What is it? Jay Coop writes, it took me back to a dark place. I can't believe they swept that under the rug. You mean crack cocaine and the CIA, the government's involvement? Like I said, crack cocaine is just another example of just the abuse that's happened to the black family. Number one, you had government agents that were involved in pouring, projecting, infiltrating our communities with the crack. Yeah. Then they was taking the money for, whatever their geopolitical interests were. Can you say Oliver North and Ronald Reagan? That's why I say when people try to give Ronald Reagan props, I don't see it. Props for what? All you did was bust up unions, which, what's that do? That hurts the working man, white and black. It's been a downtrend spiral ever since then. If you want to look at the loss of wages, the loss of wealth, and if you put that on a chart and then juxtapose that or compared it with the lack of union membership, I bet you you're going to see some consistency. You're going to see some consistency, some parallels, right? There's a connection between the two. That hurts white people and black people. We should all be so lucky, if you're a working class person, to have union protections. What do? They make sure you're getting them right benefits. They make sure you're getting a competitive wage, and they make sure that your boss just can't walk in and say, you know what, yabba dabba do, the sky is blue, you're fired. Because that's what happens in Ohio right now. Your boss can walk in here right now, if you don't have union protections, and fire you for any reason. You know what? The Bengals didn't make the playoffs. You're fired. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're going to be calling a lawyer. But then the problem with that is once you lose your way to make money, you can't afford to call a lawyer, right? Right. See how the game is played? All day, every day. So I don't give Reagan no props. Fuck Reagan. Fuck Reagan, period. And I like the idea of turning Reading Road into Obama, Avenue, something like that, Obama Way. Cool. But I like the idea better of renaming the Norwood Lateral after Obama. We should wipe away Ronald Reagan's name, in my opinion. What did Ronald Reagan do for the people? Not a damn thing. I can't think of it. We did not trade drugs and money for hostages. 2 days later. Oops, my bad. We actually did. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. The great white dope, a.k.a. Ronald Reagan. But some people got a Ronald Reagan fetish. I know I'm probably hitting some nerves this morning. Do you. Samantha writes, good morning, all. Tiff writes, good morning. Drop Squad 52 writes, good morning, Choppers. What's in your wallet? Reparations for votes? Joe Biden, the great white hope? What do you have to lose? Hashtag get to the choppers. So we went from the great white dope, which is Donald Trump, to the great white hope, Joe Biden. I know you like that. Republicans wanted to take your health care and your vote. I'm just saying, yeah. If you go back and look at the lawsuits in which they were disputing the election, and you look at the particular areas in the country and the counties in particular, guess whose vote they was trying to take away? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. That's right, black people's votes. Yeah, Trump, the good buddy of black folks, was trying to steal and take away your votes in the last election because you voted for Joe Biden. But he's supposed to be a friend of the black man, of the black family. Stop it. Stop it, drop. Or drop it. Drop it. Angela writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Hey, man, that could be a good name of your show, man. Drop it. With Drop Squad 52. I'm good at this kind of stuff, man. It's what I do. Kamikia writes, the idea that the HOR, a co-equal but separate entity, should not act with their purview, House of Representatives, simply because it may not pass in the Senate, it's ridiculous. I agree with you. I agree completely. One has nothing to do with the other. It's got nothing to do with the other. Nothing. But, people want to pontificate about Trump, just like people pontificating about, what Kerry Hilson said, you know what I'm saying? Going back to Monday's show. Talking about, it's wrong. It's not wrong. It's a private business. Your freedom of speech is not being taken away from you because Facebook decides to block you. You don't have a right to be on Facebook. You don't have the right to be on any social media or media platform. You're there at the pleasure of whoever's running it, just like in a business. You go to Walmart and start doing anything that they don't like. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to ask you to leave. You know what that means legally? And really, it don't even matter what the reason is for. If you're standing in Walmart or any business and the manager or the owner or whoever comes to you and says, look, we want you to leave. At that moment, if you do not, you are trespassing. It don't matter what you said. It don't matter if you're right. It don't matter if they're wrong. In that moment, your ass got to go. Because when they call the police are going to come up and say, hey, do you want them to leave? They're going to say, what's going on here? They're going to listen. But then what it's going to come down to is, do you want them to leave? If they say yeah in the presence of the law, your ass is leaving. You're either going to walk out or you're going to get dragged out. You choose. You choose. You either going to walk out or get dragged out. It's the same thing with social media. I'm surprised by it. I know many people. Man, there's people in the audience right now that got banned off of Facebook because they used the N-word or they posted something. Trump ain't no different. You ain't got no right to be on social media. You don't like it? Then go start your own social media. You got that right to do that. And/or don't go on there. I mean, I don't see what Carrie Hilson was in her talking about some freedom of speech. People need to read the Constitution. They don't know what they're talking about. It's the Constitution says Congress shall pass no law abridging your freedom of speech. Facebook is not Congress. Congress is Congress. Facebook is Facebook. Twitter is Twitter. Instagram is Instagram. They're not abided by what Congress is supposed to do in the Constitution. I don't get it. Carrie Hilson was out of her mind. I'll say it again. I know why Serge Ibaka left her now. I get it. James writes, impeaching Trump is putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. What Trump did last week, his whole 2 terms, only give leeway for the next president. We forget each president's job is to get America ready for the next president. My example, Obama gave us healthcare and boom, Trump gives us corona. If said examples is true, then Trump gave us an attack on the Capitol and the next president's going to give us hell. Okay. I'm not one of these. Listen, I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with the family. I got no problem with it whatsoever. 0 problems whatsoever. They impeach him, That's what he deserves. My only issue is I don't want them to stop the agenda and I don't want them to stop the checks for the people because the people need that kind of economic relief. If we're being honest about it and we're being fair about it, really, the government should be rolling out $2,000 checks a month or at least some kind of financial assistance every single month for the people. And that would be a tremendous, tremendous stress off of the backs of working class families. That is my focus. Because you got some people out there that got certain lifestyles. They're not really affected by this. They're not really affected financially. You know, wealthy people that's got that flexibility, they doing what they do. They even thriving. Actually, wealthy people are thriving. Like people that's got like investments in the stock market, their level of wealth has expanded according to a lot of news reports, you know, since Corona, right? They making more money. It's the working class people. It's the working class people that need the relief. And here we are, you know, arguing over $2,000 one-time check. I mean, you know, they got us played, man. That's why I said we need a progressive agenda for the people, black people, white people, people that live in the inner city, people that live in Appalachia. You need a progressive agenda that focuses on you. We need socialism, that's not a bad word, for working class people. We have been focused on socialism for the rich. We still trying to do this trickle-down economic theory shit, and it don't work. Brent writes, it's all good. In light of the blockbuster James Harden trade yesterday, I think Dallas needs to discuss a trade with the great people of Cincinnati. Oh, that was a big trade. We can dibble in that a little bit. It's a Thursday. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It's a Thursday. And I like to I mean, think about this for a second. Think about this for 1 second. I think that I think that, and some people are not going to like this, but let me talk about James Harden for just a second. James Harden is, I'm going to talk a little bit of sports. You know, this is not a sports show, but we talk about people, politics, and pleasure. And sports is in that pleasure realm. Let me talk about this for a second, aka Papa Smurf. I think it's dope. I do. I think it's dope. I think it's dope what's happening with the NBA. You know, if you had to ask me what's my favorite sport, I'd have to say b-ball all day, every day. I'm a b-ball fan. And yes, I am paying attention to what's happening. I am paying attention to what's happening in terms of the NBA. So if you don't know, James Harden played with the Houston Rockets. This guy's been like the number one scorer for the last 3-4 years. Just tremendous, man. Just tremendous. For anybody that likes the NBA, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but for anybody that likes the NBA, man, if you go back to OKC, like back in the day when they had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Tabu Cephalosha, Serge Ibaka, the aforementioned Serge Ibaka. I don't know who was doing the scouting, but whoever scouted that team did a tremendous job because they got three MVP type players. That's tremendous. I don't know who their scouts was for OKC. They did a tremendous job. I mean, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double for like 3 years in a row. Nobody ever thought it ever happened before, ever happened again since Oscar Robertson. Shout out to the Big O. But they did it, right? They did it. I think that's amazing. I really do. I think it's quite amazing. And now he's playing with the New Jersey Nets. So you got Kyrie Irving, who got problems up here. You got Kevin Durant. You got James Harden. Kevin Durant's a winner. I think it's all about LeBron James. I think LeBron James is such a tremendous opponent that he's making these other teams create these super teams just to deal with them. He teamed up with Anthony Davis, won a championship. James Harden's like, man, I can't win unless I got a super team. I need super friends. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's automatic. They still got to play the games, but it'll make the NBA a lot more fun. Any NBA fans out there, it's going to be a lot more fun. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can put an image up on the screen for you. For Papa Smurf, a.k.a. James Harden. Yeah. Beard game. It's got that beard game. There it is right there. That's James Harden, for those that don't know. Shout out to Clutch Points. Yeah, beard game. Absolutely. All day, every day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm still going with the Lakers. It is what it is. LeBron James all the way. I want to see LeBron get at least 7 rings so we can stop this talk about him and Jordan. The conversation with him and Kobe's already over with. Way better than Kobe. Let me see here. Who we got? Sam Suar writes, so we had to make a choice between a racist and a former racist. Tough decision. You talking about, who you talking about? You talking about in 2016, Sam Sauer? I mean, if that's how you want to look at it, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as with Hillary, I looked at it between somebody who was unhinged, totally unfit, and a complete wild card. And on top of that, had a history of racial discrimination. Okay. And again, don't get me in a position where I got to defend Hillary Clinton because I don't want to be there. But there's a big difference, in my opinion, because I criticize Hillary Clinton. I think she was dead wrong and should have been brought to task. And I think with black voters, if they took her comments about super predators against her and they use it against her, then so be it. It is what it is. But there's a big difference. And then we can also talk about, what happened with, crime and punishment during the Clinton administration. Listen, I've been on the air for a while now. I wasn't a fan of the Clintons. I was not a fan of them. They were not progressive, and there was a lot of bad things that happened toward the black family, right, during their time. Welfare reform, the prison sentencing. There was a lot of bad stuff that happened. But because, he went on the Arsenio Hall show and was playing the saxophone with shades on, everybody thought he was like new cool. Good? You ready for school? All right, buddy. See, that's my daddy voice. Everybody thought he was like the new cool, right? He's like the new Elvis. He's coming to the barbecue. Yeah, nah, not so much. I've never been a fan of the Clintons like that. Never. Never. I wasn't a fan of Bill Clinton. People thought he was the next first black president. I thought it was an affront and a disrespect to black people to call this man the first black president because he has some black girlfriends on the side. Hell no. No. I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it at all. And I just feel like when you look at Trump's history, though, Trump had a history of discriminating against black people when it came to housing. And then Trump had a history of criminalizing the black image. Remember what happened with the Central Park Five? Now the exonerated Park Five, the exonerated five. Remember that? And to this day, the man hasn't apologized or backed away from it. What he did with the Central Park Five was right in line with birtherism. And for everybody out there talking about a racist and a racist, all I know is that in 2016, you had one candidate that was using birtherism, which is a racist Southern strategy, trying to say that black man was illegitimate, Barack Obama, and he used that in his campaign. Say what you want about Hillary Clinton. I ain't saying she was important. She was perfect, but she wasn't doing that in 2016. So I hear you, fam. I hear you. But see, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. I'm just saying. I ain't saying Hillary was perfect, but you can't tell me she wouldn't have been better than Donald Trump on all levels, across the board. That's just my opinion about it. Now, we'll never know because she didn't do it. You know, what happened. But I'm just saying, there's a big difference. I would never vote for anybody that's using a Southern racist strategy during their campaign. In fact, I'm going to vote against you. So, yeah, I know Hillary went on the Breakfast Club talking about I carry hot sauce in my purse. I thought it was just as disrespectful and whatever as you did. But that's a big difference than what I see over here. I'm sorry. Check me out here. Look at that Habu. Got the Habu cup right here. HABU, black owned. Toy writes, if it were Obama, impeachment proceedings would have begun while the crowd was outside trying to get in. Get it done. She right about that. She is so right about that. I don't got to me, it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Claremont event defends January 6th rally just hours after Trump impeached. Quote, I support him more than I ever did. Loyal Trump supporters in suburban Cincinnati gather to relive January 6th rally that turned violent. This happened here locally up in, is it Claremont County? Up in the suburbs. Chris Hicks, a Claremont County Republican and leader of Claremont for Trump Organization, wanted the public to hear from local people who went. The 40 people who showed up to the RJ Cinema and Distillery in Union Township Wednesday didn't blame Trump for the riot that ensued. Quote, I support him more than I ever did. He still speaks for me. He's being attacked by the news media. He's being attacked by the Democrats. I don't think it's for any reason. So, I mean, what you got to remember, family, is that while you may have an opinion, like you can see it for what it really is, there's a lot of people that's going to double down. They feel like Trump is a martyr. He is their Martin Luther King. He's under attack. You know, years and years and years, Trump put a lot of energy into making people believe that the media was against him. And I blame the media. We had Kevin Alders on most recently with the Cincinnati Enquirer. And I asked him about the news media and the news media's role during the era of Trump. He said something I thought was interesting. I'll paraphrase. He said basically like, and he's right about this. If you go back to like 2015, 2016, the news media gave Trump all kinds of free publicity. It's part of what gave him such a rise. And they thought the circus was funny. They thought his off-the-cuff style, his non-traditional style at the debates was entertaining. And it was. But part of it is they didn't think he had a chance of getting the Republican nomination or beating Hillary. And then when he did, their posture changed. They wanted to get more critical. And so it came off as if to a lot of people, especially Trump supporters, like, oh, they're just against this guy because he's winning now. That's on them. That's on them. Samsua writes, Biden and Trump are both shit. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. Pamela writes, 67 votes in the Senate. They only need 67 votes? Okay. I don't know. I don't know the layout of the land. That might be doable. Woody writes they need 67 votes. Ooh, man, that's a high threshold. So they need 17 Republicans to jump on board, basically. Or maybe that's 16 Republicans to jump on board. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen right there. Good morning to you. That is some twisted logic you are using with the transitioning from one president to the next. That's Brent talking to James. Good morning to you. Manchin is a closet GOP lover. He is a blue dog. He's a Democrat in a state that's got in a purple state, West Virginia. He's got to do what he do. See, what Manchin doesn't want is for somebody to come in and primary him, right? For somebody to come out from the Republican Party or even the Democrat Party and be more of whatever the people say they want. Now, they might be saying, we want you to lean more to the right. He doesn't want that to happen. I get it. Nat writes, people killing me with these false equivalencies, shaking my damn head. Is that right? Marcia writes, good morning. Good to see you, Marcia. Good to see you. Angela writes, Obama wouldn't have never made it to 2 impeachments. He would have been gone the first time. Say that. Absolutely all day. He would have been up out of here. Sayrod writes, Secretary of War under the Grant administration was impeached after the election. President has been set and Trump has no recourse. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, no, I thought it was up in air. Now, that was the Secretary of War, and we're talking about president, so maybe there's a little bit of a difference there, but I'll look into that. Appreciate it. Brent writes, Obama had to walk on eggshells wearing Timberland boots, which I think would be pretty hard to do. Good morning to you. I'm back inside the chop shop. Let me see. Black Russia's in the house. Good to see you, Black Russia. Warren County, you supported one-term president who lost the entire government to you. You act like Jimmy can never happen. Not sure. I'm jumping in mid talk. Black Russia writes, hey, talk show host, if you want to say Trump wasn't that guy in 2016, then you are in the position to defend HRC. It is what it is. Well, I mean, that's how you want to look at it. You're right. It is what it is, Black Russia. Good morning to you. It is. If that's how you want to look at it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying then. That's what I'm saying. 100%. Good morning to you. Glenn writes, you are correct. I saw that last night on MSNBC. Angela writes, I wear mine. I love it. Black voices matter. Thank you so much, Angela. Yeah, it's dope, man. Listen, this is what we all about. This is what I'm all about. Amplifying Black voices. Black voices matter. We don't just need independent media that focuses on telling our narratives and our stories. We deserve it. Speaking of focusing on telling our stories and our narratives, I posted a story inside the Friends page, Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show, this morning. Matter of fact, I posted it yesterday. I wanted to get your reaction to it. Shout out to Charlemagne. That's what came to my attention. Oh, yeah, I see this. Wendell Young says he reported Cincinnati Mayor John Cranley to the FBI in 2008. I did see that. And I'm going to catch up with Wendell real soon. And he'll come on the show and talk about that with us as well. So if you don't know the story, apparently Wendell Young admitted that back in 2018, he called the FBI. And I remember him saying that. I remember playing the video on this platform, on this show. You remember that? I was playing a lot of what was happening at City Hall. And it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting because Wendell Young says that John Cranley, the mayor, tried to bribe him, said, hey, tell me what you want, I'll make it happen, in order to get his votes to vote against the city manager. That's how all this text messaging stuff really got started. This didn't get started because members of city council were trying to lie to the public. I don't see it that way. It all started because the city manager, Harry Black, he came out and said a couple things. He came out and said that there was an attempt from inside the Cincinnati Police Department to get rid of the black police chief, Elliot Isaac. And he also said that there was some shenanigans going on, that there was some stuff that was looking real shady as it relates to development deals and the office of John Cranley. In particular, a man who worked very closely and worked with the Cranley administration, who was also a developer. So the former city manager put all that out there. And after he did that, all of a sudden, the mayor's attitude was he has to go immediately. $30 black people. Why are we not outraged about that? Black Lives Matter was funded by Joe Biden, but not Joe Biden, by Joe Biden. And not Trump. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Kiki, can you send me a link? I don't doubt it, but I like to see it. I like to see it. What exactly are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? Oh, thanks for the shares. I appreciate it. Kiki going hard in the paint. I appreciate it. She going hard in the paint. But then back to the story. So I posted this about 18 hours ago because Howard University, and am I wrong about this? Is Howard University an HBCU? Howard University is an HBCU, right? Or it may not be. As I understand it, Howard University is 86% black. Is Howard University an HBCU? Any Howard University grads out there? If you're a Howard University grad, let me know. Tell me if Howard University. Oh, see, you got a troll here. We don't do trolls. We don't do trolls. We don't do trolls. Crystal writes, you need a moderator. You know what? I think you might be right about that, Crystal. Yeah. I'm down. I just blocked the troll. We ain't got time for trolls. Do that somewhere else. I'm down with that. I never thought about needing a moderator, but maybe I do. I'm down. Crystal writes, yes, Howard University, HBCU. Okay, I thought so. Okay, thank you so much, Morgan. I'll reach out to you and set it up. So help me understand this. Why would Howard University put a non-black person in charge of being the editor-in-chief of Howard Magazine to lead Howard University's efforts in storytelling? I don't get it. Why would they do that? Her name is Rin Rin Yu. I first saw this on the Breakfast Club. Shout out to Charlamagne for bringing it to my attention. It looks like she's got some credentials, but she's not black. She's the new editor-in-chief of Howard University. And that includes producing Howard Magazine and leading the university's storytelling efforts and strategy through other key channels. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, and I don't understand how. I don't understand why, and I don't understand how. Somebody help me with this. Explain this to me. Why would you put a non-black person in charge of telling black narratives? I'm here to tell you that black radio, and in particular Black Talk Radio, has a history of doing that in this community. You know, they'll have black people behind the mic. They'll have black people in critical positions. But the person in charge, the boss, white. I don't understand that. I'm not saying that white people can't be effective. Obviously they can. But there has to be a level of authenticity, in my opinion. There has to be a level of authenticity. You know, I think it matters who's at the top. I think it matters because when you're of the culture, from the culture, you're going to understand the culture. You're going to appreciate the culture a lot more. You know, this is the same thing what happened with hip hop. The problem with hip hop was that you had hip hop artists, but in a lot of cases, It was non-black people that was the label head that was running things. And to me, the culture starts at the top. The mindset starts at the top and trickles down. That's just my opinion about it. I could be wrong. Are y'all hip to this? I mean, see, I put her image up on the screen for you. Her name is Rin Yu. Rin Yu. I'm sure she's dope and dynamite. Somebody posted, I think it was my homie Robert Anthony. He was like, well, maybe she's qualified. You know what? There's a lot of qualified black people out there. You can't tell me there's not qualified black storytellers, black folks that's got a lot of experience, working in media. You can't tell me that. I see them every day. You can't tell me that. And then the next argument is, well, Howard University isn't 100% black. Yeah, but the vast majority is black. It's historical HBCU. If ever there was going to be a black person in a critical position, it should be a black person in charge of storytelling, telling the narratives. I mean, what's the purpose of having an HBCU? But the person in charge of telling the story is non-black. I think it loses something. I believe very strongly it loses something. I believe she might love Tupac. She might love Tupac. She might have grew up in the hood. But there's a difference there. I'm sure she's going to do a great job, but I don't get it. And I understand some of these media outlets that do the same thing. They'll put black people behind a microphone, but the person in charge is white. What's the point in that? I don't get it. What's the point in it? Brenda writes, absolutely agree. Brenda writes, makes no sense. Omar writes, it's not just you, but what do you expect when you invite everyone to the cookout? Didi writes, my question is there no alumni that could have filled this position? Right. They are an institution of higher learning, training mostly black folks, and not one was qualified or they could not recruit. Not name one? Exactly. That's an excellent question. Donnie writes, disgusted. She likes that. Anthony writes, I don't get it either. Robert writes, probably because she is probably the most qualified person who won the job. Why else would she get the job? I think he's being facetious, right? He's right. She's the most qualified. Yeah, right. I don't get it. With CDM and the media that we're building here, it'll never be that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for qualified. I mean, I work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I work with non-black people now. Oh, for sure. But in terms of who makes the decision, it's going to be somebody look just like me. It's going to be somebody look just like you. Somebody from our culture. That's what it's going to be. What's the point in doing it if you're not going to do that? Let me put the image up here, right here. I want you to see this. Here she is. Rin Yu. Let me click on this. Rin Yu. I'm sure she's going to do a great job. I'm sure she's going to be dynamite. I'm sure she's going to be fantastic at the job. I'm sure she's going to be fantastic, but it won't be as authentic as it could have been. It's not going to be as responsible and responsive as it should have been. It could have been. That's just my opinion about it. That's just me. I could be wrong. Kevin writes, Harvard is considered a white university. President Obama shouldn't have had him in charge of the Harvard review first person of color to do it, Nathan. Totally different. I can't compare the two, Kev. I'm sorry, Kev on the sale. I can't compare the two. Two different things. If I understand what you're saying right, let me see here again, because I don't want to misquote you. Sarah writes, I'm biased and I won't apologize for it. No, that's right. Dale writes, that is a question for Dr. Greg Carr. He's on, Greg Carr is on, I've seen him with Roland, but he also does a show with the sister from satellite radio. What's her name? I can't remember her name. I'm biased too. 100%. Danita writes, Lincoln and Wilberforce were founded by black people. Amina writes, good morning to you, Amina. Gentrification is not just neighborhood based. Absolutely. And listen, I want to say it again because we like a little bit more into the show. CDM is expanding our platform. And, we're looking for people to join what we're doing. I'm looking for creatives. If you are a creator or a creative, if that's something you might respond to, that sounds like I'm defining you. I'm looking for hosts. I'm looking for journalists. Looking for writers. We're looking for graphic editors, graphic designers, videographers, video editors, entrepreneurs. If you're someone who has products and services and you're looking to find creative ways to develop your relationship, your digital relationship, then hit me with a DM and I will respond today and set up a time for us to talk. I'll say it again. And please, lift me up with that, family, and share the word. Appreciate you in advance. Again, looking for creatives and creative people, creators and creatives. If you are a writer, you crazy with the written word, maybe we can work together, for our mutual enrichment. If you are crazy in terms of graphic design, perhaps we can work together. If you are, a host, you got something to say, you might even be doing a show. If you thought about doing a show, perhaps we can work together. What I offer is a lot, quite honestly, quite deal in terms of my experience. I've been in the media game for 20 plus years and have been successful on all levels, whether it be public radio or commercial radio, on multiple time frames, on multiple formats, talk, FM, commercial music radio, and now digital radio, and have been monetizing this show and this platform since I've been here. And that sounds like something that you might be interested in. Perhaps we can work together. I'd love to do it. If you are, like I said, a video editor, a videographer, if you are a graphic designer, I'm being redundant on purpose. I want to make sure that people hear me. If you have products and or services and you're trying to figure out creative ways to connect with the audience, with the public, with your customers, perhaps we can work together. Hit me with a DM and I'll respond today. I'm very privileged to say I get a chance to work with a lot of very smart, intelligent, primarily Black people from the greater Cincinnati area. And we're just getting started. Let me see. Somebody says, pick up the phone, baby. Hashtag BND. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry about that, man. I didn't realize that. Okay. Call me back. I got you. I'll definitely put you on. April writes, lies, Nate. I'm not sure what she responded to. Good morning to you, April. Yeah, but help me get the word out there. That we are looking to work with creators and creatives. If that sounds like somebody that or maybe I'm describing you, maybe we can work together. We'll never know until we try. I am a collaborator at heart. I'm all about the collaboration as long as it's mutually beneficial. Perhaps we can work together in a way that benefits what you're doing or what you're trying to do. Drop writes, Asians got that bag. Do they? Okay. Statistically speaking, you're right. Shelly writes, reminds me of Black television shows with white writers and producers behind the scenes. Right. What's funny, man, because there's some interesting YouTube channels out there. And there's one in particular that's kind of caught my attention that they talk to a lot of like comedy type of people, comedians. And I've watched a lot of it over the last few months. And it's so interesting. They'll go back and talk with these people that were on, famous sitcoms, and almost across the board, the show comes to an end. And the person who made the decision was a non-Black person, whether it was the writer or the producer. And it's just amazing. And I just feel like, you got to make a decision that's based upon dollars and cents. I get that. But I feel like when you from our culture, then it's deeper than dollars. You know what I'm saying? So what we're doing with CDM, obviously is about revenue. Obviously, that. But it's deeper than that. It's for the culture. It most certainly is. It's about what we need, right? It's about, giving us something new and giving us a platform where, we can come together without worrying about, what's going to happen in the future. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere. I have no plans on going anywhere anytime soon. All right. I'm 100% committed to this. 100%. And Shelly's so right. Cleopatra writes, rise and shine. Nathan Ivey and Choppers, good morning to you. Crystal writes, it's literally the same thing, Nate. Adele writes, Karen Hunter. Right, Karen Hunter. She does great work. Shout out to Karen Hunter. I enjoy her show. Dee Dee writes, the only way I'm okay with this is if they do diligence to get black person and it just didn't work out. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, because I'm not about denying opportunities. I'm just about providing opportunities to people that look like me. Because for far too long, black creators and black creatives, their growth has been artificially stunted. They don't get the kind of platform visibility that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? They don't get it. And if we don't do it, then nobody else is. Hold on here. We love we getting a member request. I want to make sure. Who is this? I'm sorry. I'm just seeing this for the first time. Somebody trying to get into the group. You're always welcome. Hey, what's up, Madison? Yeah. Come on in, brother. You're more than welcome to join the group. Got an open policy here. Come on in and share. What's up, JD? Good morning to you. Yeah, I did see that. So Wendell Young says he reported Cincinnati Mayor John Cranley to the FBI in 2018. And a lot of things happened in 2018. Is this the reason why the FBI started watching what was going on? And why is Wendell Young telling this story now? Why didn't he tell this story earlier? I don't get it. But I'm glad he's talking about it. I think it's very, very interesting. People should check that out. Follow the link. It's inside the Facebook page. I'm sure it's been widely spread as well. Somebody on vacay in Hawaii? What? Having a good time? What? Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Ray writes, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but don't be surprised if the others too are more visible in roles that may deem ours. These historically black colleges are founded and funded by others too. What she just said, 100%. What? That is dope with his popsicle. I see you, Danita. That's a great picture, man. Them little brown babies, them little black babies are so adorable. I love it. All right, 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning. I see I missed a few phone calls. That's totally on me. Call me back if you got the time, and I'll put you straight on. My apologies. I know I keep saying that. But I mean it. Hold on one second here. Hold on. Let me do this another way. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's do it another way here. There it is. Yeah, see the brother been trying to call in for a minute. I don't want to miss him. Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, Mr. Ivey? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I apologize about missing your phone call. So you called me several times. Want to make sure I get you in.
Hey, Mr. Ivey, it's Thursday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. This Drop Squad 52. Walking while retired. Mr. Ivey, you are really heading down the wrong road, Mr. Ivey. And this whole thing about just destroy Trump, tar and feather him, go after him after January 20th, Mr. Ivey, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, Mr. Ivey. The Democrats are doing it again. They're doing it again, Mr. Ivey. It's do as I say, but not as I do. They're going to say, like they always do, oh, I was just campaigning. It was just campaign rhetoric. You know, it's so hard to get stuff done in Washington. Mr. Ivey, I'm telling you right now, sir. Donald Trump will not be let go by the desperate Democrats and their willing accomplice in the mainstream media, because they both need Donald Trump. The media needs him for ratings, and the Democrats need him for revenue so they can fundraise, Mr. Ivey. So the only reason that crazy Nancy Pelosi pulled this stunt yesterday in the People's House, the House of Representatives, Mr. Ivey, she went forward with an impeachment that she knows will never go to trial. This is like an indictment, and then Later, the case gets thrown out because you had some dirty cop in the FBI that was planting evidence or falsifying statements. Nancy Pelosi is a disgrace. She needs to pack her ass up and take her ass back to California, and she can wine and dine in her multi-million-dollar estate and just shut up. Mr. Ivey, the Democrat Party is doing it again. And I can't wait to January 20th. Black, not Democrat, will be a movement. You said it, Mr. Ivey. You said start a movement after the summer of 2020, when everybody was disgusted and all they wanted was Black Lives Matter painted on the streets and painted on the buildings. And Mr. Ivey said, nope, we want tangibles. We want equity. Start a movement. So, Mr. Ivey, in 2021, the BND movement will be launched. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be so much material because the lame, sorry ass Democrats are pulling it again. And it's going to be a whole lot of pissed off Black Democrats. Because Mr. Ivey, Joe Biden only got 87%, sir. 87, that's down from the 88 that Hillary got. And it continues the decline of the Black male vote in the Democrat Party. So they better get their stuff together, Mr. Ivey, because a week from today, Joe B. Biden will be raising his right hand in front of the nation and the world, taking reign over this country and all the crap that goes with it, because this is who we are. And Joe Biden is going to have to step up or shut up and let Kamala Harris invoke the 25th Amendment. So dude got to go and let the first Black, Asian, Hispanic, Mexican, all that, the first Black woman, Hispanic, interracial, all that. Let her be the first. And let's see what she can do. We can have a remix because Obama, his hands is going to be all over the Joe Biden administration. All right, Mr. Ivey. That's it.
But hold on real quick.
No more calling.
Isn't it already
Yes,
a
sir.
movement? Isn't it already a movement? You said Black like Democrat. Isn't that what Officer Tatum, isn't that his thing?
Well, Mr. Ivey, you pointed out as well as I did that a lot of these people, Black people who don the MAGA hats and all this kind of stuff, they were in entertainment or radio or something prior to Donald Trump. Just like Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk, this other guy, he's a comedian, this is a rapper who came out with a MAGA song. All these people were involved in some type of media prior to Donald Trump. So now, Mr. Ivey, after what happened, I am noticing that their voices have been, the volume is kind of turned down. I'm not saying that they've gone away, but I'm going to try to get it sparked again. Okay. So, all it takes is reach one to teach one. And it's a lot of Black people out there, Mr. Ivey, that did vote for Donald Trump twice. More Black people voted for Donald Trump in 2020 than they did in 2016. So all the rhetoric and all the garbage and all the political doublespeak that the Democrats have been spewing about Donald Trump, a lot of people saw right through it. And it's because of new Black media like yourself and other outlets that have been created since 2016. So again, Mr. Ivey, it's kind of interesting that you asked that question, that isn't it already a movement? Well, again, like I said, Mr. Ivey, there are a lot of political opportunists out there on both sides. There are some very effed up people on both sides. Okay, so I don't know if the Black voice, Black not Democrat, Black Sid, Black voices for Trump, I don't know if that's going to continue. Because believe it or not, Mr. Ivey, just like the Democrats use Donald Trump, Russia, and so on and so forth to raise money, the Republican side did it as well. Because this is politics, Mr. Ivey. And we all know in politics, it's not about the truth. It's about what you can get people to believe. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Appreciate the call, man. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ivey. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Where you at, Lenny?
He is nuts, man. You know what's funny is that black, like, not Democrat, it's catchy and it makes sense. I get it. Black people should not be beholden to any one party. I'm with you. However, we got to be smart about it. You got to look at what these parties really represent, and whoever's coming through with the agenda and the agenda items, that's what we rolling with. Have anybody seen this? Donald Trump supporter goes hard because he got suspended. Let's listen. This dude is always entertaining. Check it out. Hold on, we don't want to do that. We'll let that go. You ain't doing no free ads. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll let that play when it comes back.
Do y'all not know that they just banned the president of the United States of America? I don't give a damn what side you on. They just banned the president of the United States of America. Every single body in this country should be alarmed by that. Do y'all not? I don't care what side you on. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you are a Republican. I don't care if you are a liberal or a conservative. They just banned the president. Do they really got that much power where they are silencing the president of the United States of America? And y'all think this shit is funny? I don't care about my language right now. I don't give a damn. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit, and y'all know it. If they are coming for the president, you damn right they're coming for you too. You damn right they're coming for me. This is absolutely disgusting. Follow me on Parler. Twitter, you can kiss my ass.
Dude is nuts, man. He said, follow me on Parler. Twitter, you can kiss my ass. That's hilarious. I've never been on Parler. I think that's like a new social media thing that a lot of conservatives are doing. I love it. I respect it. Do your own thing. Why not? Like I said, I mean, if you're a conservative and you feel like Facebook is against you and you people that's got your political slant, then go do you. Then go do you. Go do you. Let it be known. You should do that 100%. It is what it is. 513-873-7134. It is what it is. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I got no problem with it, but they coming for you. Listen, I know people that's been kicked off Facebook for doing things that's far less than the president. I know people that don't have anywhere near 100,000 followers, 10,000 followers. So their reach of influence is nowhere near as big as the president. And they use the N-word or they post something and they get suspended. It's people in the chop shop, many of them, that got suspended. It's some people that's just coming back from being suspended. You know what I'm saying? Because they post a meme or they use, like I said, I keep hearing the N-word or whatever. It keeps coming up. I'm like, really? Meanwhile, the president, one of the most influential people in the world, much less the country, dude's got millions upon millions upon millions of followers telling lies in critical moments. Telling lies that lead to critical things happening like coronavirus, telling lies about coronavirus, telling lies about black leadership with Barack Obama. To be honest with you, and I'm talking about social media, they should have banned him when he was telling lies about Obama and his birth certificate. But this country never learns a lesson from black people. They only learn a lesson when it happens to white folks. Like, police officers, some of them, I'm speaking very generally, but I know that it's not every police officer. I know all of that. But there's been many examples where police officers betrayed their oath in office. When it came to us, nobody wants to hear it. They ain't got no time for it. But when police officers betray their oath in office and storm the Capitol, all of a sudden it's a problem. It's been a problem. I mean, they should have been They should have taken him off of Twitter and Facebook a long time ago. What is he talking about? You ain't got no right to be on no social media platform. Stop it. You there, just like in a business, just like in a private business. You go into whatever business, any business you want, and you start saying some stuff that the business owner don't like, they're going to ask you to leave. The moment they ask you to leave and you don't leave, you are trespassing. That's how it works. They can ask you to leave for any reason. Not to say you don't have a case, because you might have a case. You'll deal with that later. But in that moment, you leaving. And if you don't leave, they call in the boys. And when the boys roll up, the boys are going to say two things. What happened? And then the second question is going to be to the owner. Do you want them to leave? Well, they want you to leave. You got to go. We've seen the videos over and over again. I just saw a video with a white dude, like he was in Walmart. He didn't have a mask on, right? He started talking about, oh, did you want me to leave because I'm white? It didn't really matter. The police were called. They turned to the sister that was like an attendant or a clerk or whatever, a cashier. I'm not sure what her job was, at that establishment. They asked her, do you want him to leave? She said, yup. And he had to roll out of there. You don't have a right to get on Twitter. Stop it. You ain't got no right, especially not when you misusing it, telling lies. This dude is a MAGA supporter, man, who will say anything to try to support Trump. That's all it is. Talking about, they coming for you. They already came for us. What are you talking about? Man, they been came for us. They gonna come for you too. When they come for you, what you gonna do? They've already come for us. They've already come for us. What are you talking about? They been came for us a long time ago, and they got us. Look at the state of the black family and the black wealth. They already got us. They're going to come for you next. People have already been getting banned. You know what I'm saying? My Instagram account has been shut down for the last months and months. I don't know what I did. Or somebody reported me. My Instagram account is up, but I can't like anything. I can't send a message on anybody's on your page. I can't do any of that. I don't know what it is. I've appealed it about a dozen times. I get no response from Instagram. Am I in my feelings about it? No. I either close down the account, start a new one, or do whatever. It's just that simple. And I don't have nowhere near 1 million. I don't have nowhere near 5,000 followers. So it is what it is, man. Please stop the whining. No Empathies on YouTube writes, Parler is bipartisan. Conservatives just flock there because it doesn't censor them. It has more strict rules than Facebook when it comes to language. Okay. I'm hip to it, but never been on before. Angie writes, yo, Underwood, you'd be surprised of the amount of white people who will pay financial support to tokens. Is that right? Dante writes, whatever happened to the two black ratchet female Trumpsters? They're still out there. You mean Diamond and Silk, Burlap and Rhinestone, Cole and, I would say Diamond and Silk. Yeah, they're still out there making money. Oh, Diamond and Silk is making big money, y'all. They living their best lives out there. Hey, man, I'm happy for the sisters. Go ahead and cash in, sister. Do your thing. I ain't got no problem with it. They got a website up where they're selling all kind of merch. They do tours. People love them. They got a show called The Viewer's View, which I get. It's the viewer's view. I get it. And see, that's the one thing about Trump is Trump takes care of his people. Like Trump will make appearances on their YouTube channel, which will make their numbers go up. Republicans are good about that. Republicans are good about supporting conservative media. Democrats, not so much. If there's one thing I would say about the Democrats, I'm talking about locally and even regionally and nationally, is that Republicans will support Republican media no matter how big or small it is. Democrats, they'll criticize mainstream media and then go to mainstream media first. I don't get it. I love my sister, Tamaya Denard, but that interview she should have did with the Nathan Ivey Show. I don't get it. She should have did with black media. Lincoln Ware Show. Why not? Why would you criticize the media? And then when you got an exclusive, you go give them the exclusive. What? So you got a problem with the platform, but then when you've got something valuable like an exclusive, you give it to the same platform you had a problem with? Democrats do that shit all the time. I've talked with local Democrats about that. Like, hey, what. It's like, I'm like, but then you want to criticize it. I don't get it. I speak facts. Sarah writes, now that they have the police and the police, we know how that will work out. Yeah. Victoria writes to Terrence, hey, good morning to you, Terrence K. Williams from Twitter, 45 cheerleader. Really? Terrence Graxton writes, why do y'all think Trump wanted to get rid of the provisions that protected social media companies from instances like this? It was by design. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Trump might be a lot of things, but you can't say that. I was just talking with somebody very smart in the game of media and politics just yesterday. And we were talking about that independent media, grind, hustle, however you want to look at it. This particular individual was doing something very, very similar with independent media, which I support 100%. And we were talking about Trump. And then this person was making some great points that I agree with. Like, people should study Trump. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I made this point about studying Trump, and I think Glenn and some other people got on my back. We don't need to study what he did and what they didn't know. You do. Smart people watch, learn, observe, and react. Trump has made some moves that are very, very smart from a marketing standpoint, from a politics standpoint, from a campaign standpoint. If you're somebody that's in that world, you should be watching why he's successful. You should be asking yourself, how did he get? I mean, Trump got more votes than Obama in this last election cycle. How did he do that? What's the draw? And to just throw your hands up and say it's racism, that's just too simple. Smart people go deeper than that. Why? What did he do exactly? Because then you can potentially recreate it. Then you could potentially, I don't know what the hell's up with my phone this morning. Oh, what the hell? What is that on? How is that on? I don't get it. I don't know what's up with the phone this morning. I had some people that try to call in, and I keep missing phone calls. I'm not sure. Let me see what's up.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, fam?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, brother, I missed your phone call, man. It's all on me, man.
Oh, yeah. And I was pretty disgusted, but not at that. I'm just disgusted at listening to your views this morning. You fronting.
How?
You up here calling, going off on Kerry Hilson. Oh, you just don't know. It's a private company, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. But when a biracial team. You know, it was already kind of on the fritz because I don't know what Kyrie's going through. People are calling him Kanye Irving. You know, he's just a weirdo right now. You know, thinks the earth is flat, things like that. But James Harden, let's be honest. Have you seen him play this year?
Yeah, he's out of shape.
He's fat.
Yeah.
You know, somebody superimposed a Brooklyn Nets jersey on Mark Henry and said, look who the Nets just traded for.
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? He's fat. He's uninspired. And he's not the transcendent type of talent who can just pick it up and turn it off. You know, once you become a certain age, you can't burn off pounds as easily.
Right.
He's never going to be in shape this season. You know, you're trying to, you know, maintain certain weights. Once you get a certain age, it becomes nearly impossible to do it on a professional athletic level. Ask Roy Jones Jr. You blow up too much, you can't get it off, or you're going to work too hard getting it off and hurt yourself.
That's
and
hilarious.
put yourself in danger. You know what I'm saying? So he'll never be in shape this year to be able to help them. Kyrie is not mentally there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I just think that was, I saw that trade. I'm like, I don't know what everybody's geek for. New Jersey just killed their team.
Man, I think the team will be better. Maybe not this year, but next year.
That's if he's around.
Why wouldn't
remember,
he be?
he's also a disagreeable guy.
Who, Harden?
Yes.
Yeah, he comes off like that. I agree with you.
He's a very disagreeable guy. It was the same thing with Kaepernick. Sometimes you just don't want to play with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he is. So I just think that I heard you talking about that. That was a terrible trade, but you're being pretty inconsistent comparing in your
no, I'm not actually
analysis of Kerry Hilson versus your previous comments on free speech.
No, I'm not. But I appreciate the call, though.
You can say it's not, but that don't change the fact that water is still wet.
And you can say it is, but that don't change the fact that you're wrong. I mean, I hear you, but I think you're comparing apples and oranges.
He's apple.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Appreciate it. He said he discussed it. That's hilarious. That's Fame checking in. Yeah, I had some issues with the cam. I had to change it out real quick. I think we're up now. You can see me? Good. Looks a little different. I'm using a different cam now. I like the first one a lot better. It seems like this one is a little bit washed out at the very top, but you know, we got 30 minutes left. It's all good. But to go back to the brother's point about Harden real quick, I mean, we'll see. It'll be fun for the NBA. You know, a little mix up is always good. You know, we'll see. He does seem like he's a little bit out of shape or a lot of bit out of shape. We'll see what happens. I never thought that it was going to work with Kyrie anyway, because if you can't rock with LeBron James, if you got a problem with LeBron James and you want a championship with him, he ain't going to work with anybody. Kyrie Irving is an amazing talent, and he knows it. And he thinks he's the best basketball player that's ever lived, bar none. Some of his comments about not needing a coach and you're not on par with Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the basketball is always going to be a game of height. And at 6'10", 6'11", and you can do the same things with the basketball as somebody 6 feet, you always going to be at a premium. I don't care what nobody says. And Kyrie's in his head. Too many people have told him he's good. You could tell. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, you can't win with LeBron James. They should have started a dynasty in Cleveland. But his ego got in the way. He didn't want to be the little brother to the big brother. Sometimes you got to be little brother. And then when big brother retires, you become big brother. That's just somehow, it's like that sometimes. It is what it is. But back to your point, I don't see the inconsistency there. I stand by what I said. I thought the NFL was wrong. The NFL, my brother, has already admitted that they were wrong. I think the NFL was wrong to try to silence Colin Kaepernick's voice because he was just trying to use his platform to bring attention to the plight of black people. The way they handled it was all wrong. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner. He himself said last year, you know, during that whole social unrest summer, he himself said that he wished they had listened to Colin Kaepernick. Enough said. It don't really matter what I think. It don't matter what my boy Fame thinks. You know, Brother Scusted thinks. It makes no difference. The NFL commissioner admitted that the NFL was wrong. So how am I wrong when they just admitted that they were wrong? And then secondly, you know, you're talking about in one case, you're talking about an employee situation as opposed to just a user of a social media platform. Two completely different things. And I stand by what I said. Facebook was right to take off Trump. Twitter was right to do it. I mean, It is what it is. Any social media platform, you only get a chance to go on these platforms as long as the people that operate the platform allow you to do so. They got a brand new platform called Clubhouse. You can go on Clubhouse and have as much fun as you want to until they decide they don't want you anymore. And if they decide to ban you, there's nothing that you can really do about it. You might have some legal recourse, maybe, but that's going to be something you have to deal with later on. In the moment, it is what it is, fam. It is what it is. But, it is what it is. But I appreciate it. You want to try to hold my feet to the fire. You go ahead and hold my feet to the fire, bro. Let me see. Let me write. Colin of NFL was correct. Yeah, Colin Kaepernick was right. Somebody should tell Fame, man. You got to read up before you call in. Brent writes, we back. Yes, we are. Your rights don't know sports. Harden can drop that weight quick. I agree. I think when you get older, it's harder. But I think Harden is a highly tuned athlete. He's only a couple months away from being back in shape. He'll get it together. Let me see. See here. No sound. Y'all couldn't hear him? Oh, damn, that sucks. Yeah. So Fame called in. Basically, he said he was disgusted at me if you missed it. So I'll say it again. He was disgusted at me because he said I was being inconsistent. I criticized the NFL for trying to silence Colin Kaepernick because I thought it was a bad tactic. I thought they were wrong. Like, they handled it completely wrong. They made it bigger than what it really had to be. They should have let Colin Kaepernick say what he was going to say. It would have been big for a minute, and then it would have died away. It would have died out and went away. Simple as that. It would have been big, then it would have died out and went away. Simple as that. But by denying him, they turned him into a martyr. By blackballing him, they turned him into a martyr. They made the story 10 times bigger than it really had to be, right? And look at what it is now. Colin Kaepernick is huge right now. He's like a crusader. He's like an activist now because of what the NFL did. They should have let that man say what he was going to say. Maybe have some NFL press conferences where the team ownership or the general managers talked about, the movements in their respective NFL cities. And that would have been it. And that's it. And that's exactly what Roger Goodell said. He said, basically, we were wrong. We should have listened to Colin Kaepernick. We could have handled it better. So, again, fam, you got to get your facts together, brother. But I appreciate your attempt to hold my feet to the fire, though, man. Makes the show better. See here. Somebody said the Russians. No, it wasn't the Russians. My cam went out. So I'm using a new camera these days. It may look a little bit different. Hopefully it looks a lot different. And it just died on me. So I had to put my webcam up real quick. So we still good. We didn't have to drop the screen and nothing like that. We had to do nothing like that. Daryl writes, I didn't see any copyright infringement. No, we back. Absolutely. Roy Jones was way out of his prime, but he was 50 years old. Good points. Replying to Yo Underwood, all that running they do up and down the court and a proper diet, he will drop the weight in no time, definitely before the playoffs. James Harden was doing that because he wanted to leave. That's all. He didn't want to be with the Nets, the Houston Rockets anymore. He was out. That's all that was. You'll see he'll get in shape real quick because now he's got something to live for. He's got something to play for. It is what it is. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear it. Danita writes, Trump has been banned from Snapchat now. Damn, he is going to only be on MySpace in a minute. That's hilarious. Well, he's on YouTube right now, and his YouTube subscribers are going up. They're going up. Like I said, he is the leader of a real movement. We have to stop denying and delegitimizing Trump's relationship to his base. It is a mistake to do that. Do not delegitimize. Don't try to say like, oh, these people are dumb. Okay. Whatever you think about them, there's a real relationship there. Smart people are trying to figure out, what is it? What's the tie that binds? What is it about them? Why are these people so dissatisfied that they're following Trump? Why do they believe him? Now, the easiest thing people are going to say is just straight up racism. And you might be right. But I think it's smart to delve a little deeper, right? To look a little deeper into it to try to figure out what's going on here. That's what I think anyway. That's what I think. What do you think? Lemmy writes Clubhouse. Yeah. That's the new hot thing right now, Clubhouse. Angela writes Clubhouse is fire. What's up, Angela? What's up, Angela? Good to see you. Rachel writes, if Trump is so rich, he can create his own platform. He could. And I'll be honest with you, he could do it. If Trump decided to create his own platform or his own media channel, he could do it. He would get numbers and it would be impactful. He's got that kind of relationship with people. Man, I watched the video, man. I'll play it for you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. One of these news organizations went out and talked with some of the Trumpsters, right? They talked with the Trumpsters after what happened with the raid. And they were asking them, what do you think? What do you believe? Man, these people was doubling down for Trump. Like, look, I'm even more of a Trump supporter now as I was before this. I'm definitely a Trump supporter. They out to get him. If I find out that he lied, I'll be upset. They still believe everything that he's saying. And there's a reason why. And if you're a Democrat or a Democrat operative, or you're somebody that works to get Democrats elected, you should be investigating that relationship as much as possible. You should be trying to figure out what did they do wrong? What are the Democrats doing wrong? Where did they lose these people? That is a worthy endeavor. That's what you should be doing if you're somebody and you're in that world. Like if you're just a regular Joe Schmo, that's not something you should care about. I get it. I'm saying, but if you're in that world, if you're a media person, if you're a person that that's the path that you walk, then that's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing 100%. And of course, Trump had a big he didn't have a press conference, but he did a stand up to the nation last night saying that he condemns the violence, that, quote, no true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. He's doing a 180 because now he's looking at it like, oh man, I'm dealing with some real consequences now. As much as Trump criticized media and also social media, he needs them. So the thought of losing access to Twitter, where he's got like 100 million plus people, that's got to be scary to him because he's losing his influence. He's losing his ability to get out here and connect with the people. It's just so much information out there that I can share with you this morning. Where now these Republicans are suddenly finding the Jesus, they finding the light, and suddenly they understand that they was wrong all of a sudden. I got a video I'll play for you in a second here. Angela writes, last year, I shifted more of my online hours to being productive and networking for my businesses. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's smart. A lot of people are doing that. I think that's very, very smart. What else are you going to do in these COVID-19 days and times? What type of online business do you have? Woody writes, the NFL was afraid of Don the Con tweets. Yeah, I like to know. I want to say this again. I want to use today's show to put the word out that, CDM is expanding what we do. And a part of that is we want to work with you. I want to work with you. And if you are a creator or a creative person, if by in any way that defines you, then hit me with a DM. Maybe we can work together. If you are a journalist, if you're a budding journalist, if you ever thought about doing journalism, perhaps we can work together. If you are a graphic artist, if you're an artist in general, perhaps we can work together. If you are a host, if you do a podcast or a live stream show, or you're thinking about doing a podcast or a live stream show, maybe we can work together. Maybe we can work together. If you're someone who, you do an online business, you're an entrepreneur, and you're looking for creative ways to connect with customers or connect with an audience, perhaps we can work together. Hit me with a DM and I will respond today and set up a time for us to talk. I am 100% about this life. Angie writes, Kaepernick's fight and Dom's plight were totally different battles. The question is, what is being silenced? I tried to tell the brother, but, he didn't want to listen. You're talking apples and oranges, two different things completely. Two different circumstances completely. Woody writes, the NFL was afraid of Don the Con tweets. Maybe so. Maybe so. Brent writes, Trump is not rich. He gives the appearance of wealth. Wealthy people do not have 400 plus million in personal debt and another 600 million in business debt. Okay. I don't know the details. TNT writes, history will show who was on the right side and who enabled hate and division in Trump's Make America Segregated Again. Yeah, it will. It will. But, that's why I say independent media and black independent media are so important. Because now with the internet, we can be involved with writing history. Now we can control the narrative. Now we can control the narrative about what are the flashpoints in history, right? The person that controls the flashpoints in history controls how history's being told, right? There's a project out there. What is it? 1719 project. And if you whittle it down, if you water it down, essentially, it was a redefining of the flashpoints in American history. With the 1619 project, they were saying that flashpoints in history should be more about the relationship between America and black folks and brown folks, melanated people. And then a lot of conservatives got in their feelings about it, like, no, we don't want to change the flashpoints. So he who controls the narrative controls the flashpoints in history. So it depends. It really depends, TNT. It depends on who's going to write the history and what their viewpoint is. You know what I'm saying? For people who are more objective, yeah, this stuff, this everything that's happening in the Trump administration will not be forgotten. For people who are biased toward Trump, oh no, they're going to focus on other things. That's why it's just so important. Lemmy writes, he is going to start his social media Trump. It'll work too. It will work. I'm here to tell you, if Trump starts his own social media, it will work. It'll work. Fane Rosting writes, Roy Jones Jr. was in his prime when he went to win a heavyweight title and came back down 20 pounds in light heavyweight and got knocked out, but go off. Drop writes, TNT, why are Democrats telling Joe Biden not to work with any GOP member after the so-called insurrection at the Capitol? Hashtag BND. I mean, they can tell him whatever they want, but if you listen to Joe Biden, he says that he's going to be like this dude that's going to walk the middle aisle and work with everybody. That's what kind of person he is. Lemmy writes, Colin do a sports show, it would be fire. Yeah, could be fire, yeah. Trump is a ride or die. He will stand his ground. He will not quit. Even if he's wrong, learn from him. Yeah, learn from him in terms of never giving up. You can't beat a person that never gives up. Or should I say, it's very hard to beat a person that never gives up. I'm a never give up kind of person. But I think there's a lot more you can learn from Trump. What's up, Christian? Good to see you, brother. Maybe we can. Absolutely, Christian. Christian took me to the woodshed, man, after something I said. He does a YouTube show as well. He's on Facebook. He took me to the woodshed over my comments when I said, you're not married until you're married, which I don't understand how anybody, to me, that's pretty straightforward and common sense. I can understand how anybody would have a problem with it. But it was a lot of fun, brother. Good to see you, Christian. You already know, man. Listen, anybody that knows me will tell you I am a collaborator at heart. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm all about that. And I'll say it again now that Christian's here, and I'm seeing him anyway. If you're doing a show, if you're a host, if you're a creative or creator, maybe we can work together in a way that's mutually beneficial. Let's do it. If you are a journalist, if you're a budding journalist, if you want to be a journalist, I definitely want to talk to you. If you are you work in audio, you crazy with audio editing, let's work together. Let's do something. I got some ideas. If you're a videographer or you do video editing, let's work together. I've got some ideas. If you're a graphic artist, if you're super cool with some of the latest graphic arts software, let's work together. I've got a couple of ideas. Hit me with a DM this morning. I will respond today and set up a time that's convenient for you where we can talk. You never know. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, teamwork. Black people should work together, not against one another. I'll say it again. Black people should work together, not against each other. Let's do it. 100%. I'm all about it. Hit me with a DM. I'll respond today. Set up a time that's convenient for you. and we can make it happen. I mean, 100% CDM is expanding our repertoire of very talented hosts, but there's just so much more, that I'd like to do. So let's connect. Let me write CDM, do a sports show. It would be fire. I've got a super tight idea. Absolutely. Let's do it. Elizabeth writes, that underground that Trump has awakened has always been there. I used to talk to a person who refused to pay taxes. It was amazing to me, all of the people who were in this group. They were mostly white people who were anti-government and were readying to go to war against the government. They have bunkers and supplies to fight. And again, I don't want to delegitimize these individuals. I'm not here to delegitimize them. They may have some legitimate issues. I think we should listen to them and learn where we can and coalesce, meaning link up where we can. We might not agree on everything, but where we agree, let's link up. Let's link up. Let's make it happen. Joseph Bailey writes, his media would do as good as Trump alcohol. That's hilarious. Or Trump University. I think in these days and times, I'll be honest with you, Joseph, I think it will work. If Trump starts whatever he's going to start, if he starts a media channel, it will work. There is a real appetite out there for that conservative media angle. It's super, super real. I'll say it again. That's why I like when Drop calls in. I'd love to do a podcast with black conservatives or conservatives in general. Hit me up. Let's do it. If it's a good idea, let's do it. And because there's so many different opinions out there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got an opinion. There's an audience for it. There's all kinds of opinions in our community and beyond. So I think it's a mistake. I think it's a big mistake when I hear people saying dismissing people. We shouldn't be dismissing anybody. Don't dismiss the Trumpers. Listen to them. Learn from them. There it is. Rumble, Parler, Minds, Gab, all these less censorship. Rumble will actually pay you. You should check them out, Nathan. Okay. Yeah, I'm not hip to any of them. Rumble, Minds, Gab, I'll check them out. Drop writes, white media pay cash for guests like Tamaya Denard. Well, so can black media. And that's not what happened. As I understand with Tamaya Denard, she reached out to, you want to call it white media, but she reached out to mainstream media for that, I believe. And see, in a lot of cases, they ain't paying for nothing. They just doing it because the perception is their platform is bigger, and they might be right. But at some point, you got to invest in the future. CDM is an investment in the future. Yeah, we're here now, but where we'll be in a short time, sky's the limit. She wrong. Said cubic zirconia and corduroy. You was wrong for that. You wrong for that. Drop writes, where's Barack Obama supporting new black media? Okay, that's a fair question. Christian writes, Diamond and Silk are the names of two brands of almond milk. That's hilarious. He's right about that. That's hilarious. Then he writes, same with my YouTube account. I had to start a new one a good while ago. Oh, they banned you off YouTube? Yeah, YouTube will ban your ass in a second, man. They're very serious about their rules. They'll ban you in a second. And so will Facebook. That's hilarious. Brands of almond milk. That's not even the best brand of almond milk. If you want to get the best brand of almond milk, it's pricey, but it's called Malk, M-A-L-K. You can get it at probably Whole Food or any other stores that sell that kind of stuff. Silk and Diamond are not the best quality of almond milk. They're cheaper. They're not the best kind. If you read the labels and do a little research, the ingredients and the quality and also the consistency of actual almonds in it is nowhere near to what it is with Malk, M-A-L-K. It's a little black and white bottle. It comes in sweetened and unsweetened. I do the unsweetened, because sugar is poison. Sugar is the devil. Stay away from sugar at all counts, people. Stay away from it. M-A-L-K. You can check it out for yourself. These are just free health tips from me to you because I want you to be healthy. I don't want you to go through what I went through last year. I want you to live your best Black life, your best excellent life. That's what I want you to do. Let me see. Terrence writes, why do y'all think, okay, I think I read that already. Let me catch up here. And let me jump inside the chop shop. What we got? 4 minutes left here. Okay, let me go back. I'm inside the chop shop. Smitherman is winning too. Warren County. Meanwhile, you need to handle that Mason City councilman you voted for that went to the Capitol. Hashtag alt middle. Yeah, I mean, Smitherman is winning right now. Let's call it what it is. He's right about that. And if he runs against Stephanie Dumas, she's going to have a real fight on her hands. That's going to be a very competitive race. Very competitive. Largely because of the moves that Smitherman has been making in terms of, connecting with, different communities in Hamilton County as a member of city council. Why do you think he spends so much time on right-wing radio? Why do you think he's on 700 all the time? Why do you think he goes on these shows? Again, I said it before about Christopher Smitherman. I'll say it again. He is the Peter Baelish of Cincinnati. He's a long-term, very, very, very intelligent man. I said it 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, and I'm saying it to you now. Highly intelligent, long-term thinker. No matter what you think about, his relationship with the black community, I don't think anybody that knows anything can say anything other than what I just said. Drop writes, where's net neutrality, Mr. Ivey? Oh, you were here for all the smoke today, huh? Well, in my opinion, net neutrality is in good hands. It's in good hands. Because now that the Democrats are going to be taking over, you're going to see a move on net neutrality. So the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, is poised to restore net neutrality and move more aggressively to expand broadband subsidies amid the pandemic. This was an article. Thank you for bringing it up, because I meant to bring this up. This is one of the things I focus on. I focus on net neutrality because I'm a digital creator. And if you're a digital creator, you must understand the policies and the politics that govern where you make your money, how you connect with your customers, how you connect with your audience. I do that via the internet. So I'm very, very aware, and I focus on the politics that govern the internet. That's net neutrality. If anybody is a digital creator, you should keep your eyes on that. You should be aware of it. It impacts your business. But I'm here to tell you that there's 5 people on the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, right? Whatever party is in power has the majority. So when the Republicans are in power, there's 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. They make all decisions on the 5-member FCC board of commissioners based upon majority rules. And the commissioner sets the agenda. So they don't vote on anything unless the commissioner puts it on the agenda. The commissioner is chosen by whoever the president is. So when Joe Biden becomes the president, that means that the Democrats are going to have a 3-person to 2-person majority. They're going to win all votes. The commissioner, the person that sets the agenda, is going to be a Democrat. As I'm reading, this article is dated, it was last week, actually a week ago today. FCC Democrats set to move on net neutrality and broadband subsidies. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Now, this will be a Band-Aid, because unless Congress acts, and I'm looking to see Congress act on this and put net neutrality in its proper place, where should it be? Well, net neutrality should be legally put in a place where it's looked upon as a public utility. Comcast, Spectrum, they don't own the internet. Okay, it is a public utility. They should not be allowed to throttle you or block your access, or even put data caps on the amount of internet that you use on a monthly basis. The only reason why they would do that is because they can make more money. It's wrong. It's harmful. It's not going to benefit anybody. Black people, working class people, white and black, are going to bear the brunt of it. And it creates an unlevel playing field. Simple as that. So just to answer your question, the net neutrality, at least for the next 4 years, is going to be in a good place. It's going to be in a real good place. Sarah writes, you always study your enemy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Janine writes, I follow Trump on social media. My family think it's nuts, but I'm a true researcher at heart. You're a smart person. You should be following. Yo writes, Nathan, you think that since Wendell reported Cranley in 2018, they gave Cranley a hands up and then start digging dirt up on Wendell? I think it was a couple things. I think it was Wendell. And again, this is just based upon some new information that came out within I'm not sure when it came out, but I saw it within the last 24 hours. I think Wendell and we're going to catch up with Wendell Young on this show very, very soon. I think it was that, but I also think that it was, I wonder if it was the former city manager, Harry Black, as well, who sent a memo to city council that went public saying, you know what? There's some shady stuff going on between developers, development, and John Cranley, the mayor. So I think it was all of that. I also believe, and I have no evidence to support this, but I believe that there was probably some people that may have been on council that heard about some things or saw some things, and they might have reported it or in some way been involved with the FBI becoming more interested in what was happening with city council because it benefited those individuals politically. I don't have any direct information, but my spider sense tells me that the FBI didn't just come in because developers called them. Something tells me that. Terrence writes, quietly, I can't stand the guy at all. He's the one that put me on game about the pass-through of business tax liability through your personal income based upon your structure of your business. Is that right? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. TNT writes, Fame went and broke the internet. No. My cam just cut out on me. Sorry about it. Y'all didn't hear none of that? Damn. It was a good call. I think I explained it. Let me see. Catching up to your chat here. Good morning to you. Tiff writes, the best quality is to make your own at home. Lemmy writes, Smitherman would win. I'll say it again. Smitherman would be a very strong contender for Hamilton County Commissioner against Stephanie Dumas. She had to bring her A game. For a lot of reasons. James writes, if I was a president and I could see the collapse of a society, it would be preparing a secret militant army also. Racist or not, steering hour, I know the ins and out to the country. Okay. Dale writes, so who is Arya Stark? Yeah, we haven't gotten that point to the story. Okay, GOT insider. You a GOT insider? Yeah, we ain't got to that part of the story here locally with Lord Peter Baelish. He's still running things. Janine writes, homemade almond milk? Nice. Okay, I'm down with the homemade. Lemmy writes, Democrats are soft. TNT writes, I think she's speaking about Smitherman, diabolically brilliant. He's a long-term thinker and a very smart man. Brent writes, have a great day, Choppers. Good morning to you. Have a great day. Last comments this morning. The ones I talk seem to recognize we can't police the people at the bottom who ride the system without policing the corporate actors at the top that do the same. Also, all the money that we give certain countries and closing tax loopholes. All right. Hey, listen, folks, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. And my apologies. We had a little bit of an interruption there. And I want you to hear what Fame had to say. But I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Of course, check out Midday Juice today with Ask Ashley coming up at 1 p.m. She got that juice and she stayed busy. Midday Juice today from CDM. Make sure you check it out. Also, check out all of our podcasts up on our Facebook page. Like and share as we build out our platform. And we'll talk real soon, family. I'll say it as I end the show, I'll say it again. If you believe that Black voices matter, perhaps we can work together. If you are a creator or a creative, if you are a journalist, if you're a host, if you see yourself, you got an idea for a podcast, a live stream show, perhaps we can work together. I got over 20 years of experience doing this successfully on all levels. Perhaps we can work together for our mutual enrichment and also for the community. If you are a graphic artist, perhaps we can work together. If you are a videographer or video editor or audio editor, perhaps we can work together. Hit me with a DM and I'll be in contact today and set up a time at your convenience where we can talk. Let's do it. If you are a entrepreneur looking for creative ways to get the word out about your business, I've got a few. Maybe we can work together. Again, hit me up with a DM and let's talk. And I'll leave you with that. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. Have an excellent rest of your day. Live from Cincinnati, it's the Nathan Ivey Show. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early at 7:30 a.m. Until then, remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, show mode, showboat.